we understand what it's about.
Every time I touch the ball, I'm thinking I'm going to score.
And this is our chance to write our part of the story.
The wheels, ball, nose, touchdowns!
Like he looks like he wants to take someone's head off.
Oh, picked up! Into the mix! Dante McClellan!
A parade, tailgating, and a blowout. Sounds like Missouri Tiger homecoming. Welcome inside the Tiger Kickoff Show. Jacob Siciliano, as always, joined by our wonderful Columbia, Missourian beat reporters in Quentin Corpuel, Zach Sweet, Chase Jeems. Guys, homecoming, it was great. 42-6 win. What are our quick minute reactions on the win over the Minutemen?
Yeah, Mizzou did exactly what it needed to do. Although the first half was a little bit clunky, the Tigers pulled away in the second half for a dominant 42-6 victory. 5-0 for the second time in, I believe, 12 seasons.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good stat.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty dominant total yardage, 521 to 124 yards. It's exactly what you needed to see. I don't think we learned a whole lot. They didn't open up the playbook. All their concepts were about as basic as you could get. You don't want to put anything on film with Alabama on the horizon, but they did exactly what they needed to do. They came out and they won 42-6. You can't really complain. Happy homecoming for everyone involved.
Yeah, I think a lot of us were talking about after the game, like, what can we take away from this? And I think we all kind of agreed there's not much. It just kind of is what it is. The Mizzou did the job that it was supposed to do against UMass. And I think, yeah, we're all kind of looking at next game as the time to really test this Mizzou team and see kind of what they're made of.
Did you learn anything, Quentin, from this game outside of how much Missouri fans love their homecoming being the first and finest?
Yeah, no, that was reinforced. Maybe not learned, but reinforced. And I think the same thing goes with what we saw from Mizzou on the field. Ahmad Hardy was incredible once again. The rushing attack and the rushing defense were great once again. That gap in rushing yards was wide. Well, when we get to take it to the grave in a little bit, I'm glad that I pinpointed that one beforehand because that's exactly what happened in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think I learned, whether or not he's going to admit it, he won't admit it, but I learned that Eli Drinkwitz does care about what the national media is saying about Ahmad Hardy because I think they force-fed Ahmad Hardy. Not I think, they definitely force-fed Ahmad Hardy, which they should have done, but 3 touchdowns. You keep him in the game for as long as you keep on giving him carries, even when he was banged up a little bit, but get him over 100 yards, get him 3 scores. On paper, it looks like an awesome game. It was an awesome game. But that Heisman, I mean, I really think it's possible. I think people are starting to catch on to the Ahmad Hardy buzz nationally.
Yeah, initially when he went down, I didn't think he was going to come back in the game. I just didn't think it was necessary. But clearly he was just fine. And, you know, they throw him back in to get past 100 yards again and do his thing. Like, nothing wrong with that. But it was kind of a good opportunity to also just let Jamal Roberts and Marquise Davis play the whole game. So, I don't know. I think they're definitely looking at the Heisman, though, as a possibility, even if it's kind of a far reach for a running back.
And you guys mentioned Hardy getting a little banged up. This is the right time for a bye? Momentum, injuries, everything?
Yes, I think this is a perfect spot for them ahead of Bama to kind of rest and take it easy for a little bit. I think even for us working, we're kind of ready for a bye week. So, yeah, I think it came at a good time.
Well, Tigers, their 42-6 win. Heading into the bye, let's see how it went down. The Tigers, happy Hoco, packed stadium at Faroe Field. We jump to the first quarter. Jamal Roberts, not Ahmad Hardy. He wants you to know his name too. 9-yard touchdown run. Mizzou leads 7-0.
The backfield has been far from the Ahmad Hardy show this year. Jamal Roberts, even in limited carries this game, was pretty efficient with what he did in his contact balance. Not the same as Hardy's, but similar in that it is very, very good, like we saw in that touchdown run there.
We stay in the first quarter here. Bo's good for about one of these a game. Sadly, we've seen the last 3 intercepted, picked off by Timmy Hinspert-Peter, and it takes it all the way down into Mizzou territory. Rough throw from Bo.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it a couple times. Bo looked a bit flustered in the pocket. This is 3 consecutive games now with an interception. That's something that needs to be cleaned up. What I do want to talk about is the effort of Jamal Roberts here to make that chase down tackle.
Yeah, coming all the way down. And then obviously this defense does not quit. Big hit from Marvin Burks Jr.
Yeah, he threw him out of bounds there. The defense trying to do what it can to stop the Minutemen from scoring here, but they're very close to the end zone there, and we'll see they end up scoring here.
Yeah, that's coming up next, still here in the first quarter. Who would have thought that at some point UMass Mizzou would be in a 7-6 ball game? I bet you didn't have that on your repertoire, but who cares? We're having a party. It's a night game in Como. Eli Drinkwitz wanted to talk about having more of those, and then here it is, that 2-yard touchdown pass. It makes it 7-6 after a blocked PAT that we'll get to.
That was UMass's first passing touchdown of the entire season, capitalizing on the good field position from the long return on the interception, but that would be UMass's only score of the night, including right there, that blocked extra point. Good job by Mizzou's special teams to keep it at 7-6.
Yeah, blocked PAT was by Sterling Webb. Zach, what'd you see that made this block possible?
I mean, he's just using his size to his advantage, just get a hand up there. And Missouri, I'm sure, was not happy allowing a touchdown, so blocking the extra point made up for it.
And here's Hardy. Charges into the end zone at the end of the first quarter. It's a 5-yard score. Mizzou leads 14-6.
Yeah, he looks just fine there now. That is his first touchdown of the game, and 2 more to come. It's 9 on the year now.
And then we jump into the second. Guess who? It's Hardy one more time. 21-6 Tigers. The gates start to open.
A lot has been made about Hardy's ability to create explosive plays, and rightfully so. He's been exceptional at that so far this season. But the short yardage situations, even in just 3rd and 1s, not near the goal line, 3rd and shorts, not near the goal line, he's been really adept at picking up those first downs and doing the dirty work.
Speaking of first downs, plus more from 16 yards out, gets the truck and tiptoes in. Contact control for 6. Tigers lead 28-6.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite of Ahmad Hardy's runs in this game. 16-yard touchdown, his 3rd of the game, but he just runs through the defender. What great contact balance to stay up and just power through to get into the end zone. Missouri has the #1 rushing offense according to Pro Football Focus through 5 weeks. It's a fun sight to see.
Classic from Hardy. End of the 3rd quarter. Corpuel finds his big man, Brett Norfleet. 9-yard touchdown. Tigers up 35-6 now.
Yeah, we're taking a break from Hardy there finally, but Bo finally gets some momentum there. Norfleet just continues to be involved in this offense. A nice another touchdown for him in the end zone. He's going to continue to be really involved.
Here's what Eli Drinkwitz had to say about the Tigers' win after one last play here. Tigers defense coming up clutch, swats it away. Here's what Drink had to say.
You know, again, I thought Bo responded pretty well. I think there's still some things pocket-wise we got to do. I think there's I don't know if I learned anything new other than there's things that we got to continue to work on offensively. You know, so it's good. It's good to be undefeated with things to improve. And I think that's kind of the mentality of our coaching staff and our players. You know, during the bye week, we got to sharpen our edge. We cannot get complacent, and so having things to work on is positive.
All right, things to work on. Let's do a little check-in here, though. You know, it's always good to check in on our guys. We're going to check on our guys, the Missouri Tigers. Earlier in the year, strength, weakness, unknown. We asked it going into the season. We head into the bye. Quentin, what's your strength, weakness, or unknown for the Missouri Tigers?
I'll go with a strength, and I'll go with an obvious one, just Mizzou's ability to run the ball. We knew before the season that Mizzou was going to make running the ball a large part of its offensive identity, especially with how good Ahmad Hardy was last year at UL Monroe and with Bo Corpuel being an electric runner at quarterback. And so far through these first 5 games, I mean, Zach said it, they're the most productive rushing offense according to a lot of websites. If you look at just raw rushing yards, Mizzou's #1. No one else is ahead of them, and a lot of that has to do with the amount of times they've ran the ball. Ahmad Hardy's already crossed 100 rushing attempts through 5 games, which is a lot, but that also speaks to the efforts of Jamal Roberts, Marquise Davis, and we even saw Tavares Jones score a touchdown against UMass. And so it hasn't just been, again, the Ahmad Hardy show, but it's been a collective effort. Hardy's just been the poster child leading the way.
I mean, yeah, adding on to that, I'm going to talk about another one of the strengths on the other side of the ball. It's the run defense. And we knew that defensive front was going to be good coming into the year, but we didn't know how good it was going to be. They have the #5 run defense in the country. They have the #10 pass rush in the country. That says something about your front 7. Damon Wilson and Zion Young off the edge, 42 pressures combined in 5 games. They're in the backfield constantly, these two, just wreaking havoc on quarterbacks, making their life miserable. They don't have time to throw the ball, and that's what's creating opportunities across the entire defense. It's these edge rushers flying in and constantly creating pressure. It's been fun to watch. That front seven, strength.
Yeah, I'm going to go with an unknown here. I think we actually do kind of know a lot about this Mizzou team itself, but when it comes to playing their opponents, I think we're still kind of waiting for that elite opponent, and well, it's going to be answered in 2 weeks with Alabama. I know they were tested a little bit against Kansas and South Carolina. We kind of thought would have been more of a test, but it turns out they just kind of weren't. But now I think you need to see like the issues that they're kind of having on the secondary. I think those are going to be really tested against Alabama, and then we can actually kind of assess where that position group is at now.
Q, you got a weakness or an unknown? I know you already laid down the strength for the Tigers.
No, I'll let the Bob Dylan fan take the unknown. So I'm cool with him keeping it over on that side. I'll go with something we haven't talked about yet, which is a weakness. To be quite honest, there haven't been very many in terms of comparing to strengths. I think there have been a lot of strengths, very few weaknesses. Yeah. One that we didn't see as much against UMass was the pass defense and explosive plays over the air. I thought that might be tested a little bit more because A.J. Hairston has a pretty good arm and was able to create stuff not just this season and limited reps, but even last season when they went to Georgia, was able to complete some long passes. But even amidst the weakness, the front seven has just been so good for so long this season that a lot of those secondary issues didn't even need to happen. Like Hairston threw 20 incompletions. Yeah. And even the interception, Hairston looked flustered, and Santana Banner didn't really need to move.
So for the weakness unknown, I want to talk a little bit too about Missouri's offensive line and kind of Beau Pribula in the pocket as a whole. We saw this come up a number of times against UMass. He was under pressure quite a bit against a well-inferior defensive front. 4 sacks he took, 1 forced interception from the pressure. He looked flustered in the pocket, and that's something that can't happen with SEC opponents on the horizon. Beau needs to get his composure and just take what the defense is giving him. If it's out of the pocket, go and run. Don't make a throw on the run to a defender. A couple bad decisions, a bit flustered in the pocket. I'd like to see that change with SEC opponents coming up.
Yeah, 3 straight weeks with a pick, 4 straight weeks with a turnover. Here's what Drink had to say on his quarterback's turnover issues.
I think he does a really good job with his accuracy. I think our pocket climbing is an issue right now. The pick was a tip ball because we climbed too far in the pocket. That kind of happened to us with 2 other sacks too, instead of just throwing the ball away. So there's still some maturing and growing in pocket understanding. But I think that's part of maturing as a quarterback. You want to make every play. Throwing the ball away is a good play. Throwing the ball away is a good play, and so we got to continue to learn that. That was something that happened to us a little bit in fall camp, and I think we got into some games and we were making plays, but we got to learn to be a disciplined decision maker, and sometimes the best play is to throw the ball away.
I'll agree with Drinkwitz. Throwing the ball away is the right play, but it was pretty cool to see Beau Pribula string together 21 straight completions, but obviously the turnovers have been an issue the last 3 weeks against good opponents, against not so great opponents. What's your sense of the turnover issues for Beau?
Yeah, I think there are 2 hands you could be looking at. One is something you mentioned. He completed 21 straight passes. He broke a school record. Like, that was good. That's great that he is, as we talked about before the season, making the easy stuff look easy. But at the same time, when stuff breaks down or when the pocket collapses, can you stay poised? And can you continue to make good decisions? Pribula last game, I was very surprised by how jittery he was in the pocket, and Drinkwitz talked about it like we just saw there in that clip, and furthermore after the game. I think Pribula's poise, whether it improves or not, is going to swing a lot of Missouri's offensive success.
Do you think, either of you, that he looked more composed against Kansas than he did against UMass?
Yeah, I'd say he looked more composed, and the reason behind that, I think he was under pressure more in the UMass game if you look back at the film, but that also is not the greatest attribute for the offensive line if he was under pressure more against UMass than Kansas. But I also want to say, to play devil's advocate a bit here, we're talking about Beau Pribula and a bunch of negative stuff. He completed 26 of 29 passes. What is he, 76% completion percentage on the season, and the Tigers are 5-0 going into the bye week. Can't ask for much more. I know we have to talk about these weaknesses, but I think it's also important to mention that he did look the part. He looked fine while it was short passes and taking what the defense was giving him. 26 of 29 is not a bad game.
Were you concerned at all, Chase?
Not really. I think Mizzou is completely fine with what they have at quarterback. Like, yes, he's going to make mistakes sometimes, and you want to see those cut out, especially with his decision making. But overall, I mean, the results speak for themselves. They're undefeated, and he's playing well. And I don't think they have any regrets on kind of how he's playing right now.
Well, the Tigers will hope he continues to play well. Here's a look at our upcoming opponents. It's a gauntlet. All right, welcome back. We have a fun little segment right now. There's been a lot of success in the SEC this year. The Tigers are ranked 10th in the SEC, but they're 19th in the AP poll, which is just a wild statistic. So we're going to have the SEC stock market. It's open. Welcome to the exchange. We'll start with you, Mr. Corpuel. Alabama, are you buying? Are you selling? Where are you at with the Crimson Tide that stand at 3-1?
I'm cautiously buying. They picked up a much-needed win over Georgia over the week, and the Crimson Tide continued dominating the Bulldogs this one in Athens. I had them winning the SEC before the year. I put a lot of belief in Ty Simpson, who played really well on Saturday. He outdueled Gunnar Stockton by, I would say, a lot, and they played well along the line of scrimmage. That stuff, I think, if it can sustain over the course of the rest of the season, I think Alabama is going to be taking a trip to Atlanta.
Wow, so SEC championship level buy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, the SEC championship. Okay.
I'm feeling good. After what I saw against Georgia on Saturday, I'm feeling pretty good.
You got Vanderbilt on the market. What you doing, sweet? Buying and selling.
I can't say I have Vandy as high as he has Alabama. I'm definitely going to buy. I'm going to put him right above the middle mark of the buyer of the green line. Yeah, that's about right there. I'm really excited to see how Diego Pavia looks this weekend against a really good Alabama team. Those are Missouri's next two opponents. I think Missouri is going to learn a lot about their upcoming opponents this weekend on a bye week. So I'm going to buy Vanderbilt. I think Diego Pavia's experience helps them, and I think they're a good football team. So I'm excited to see how they look this weekend against the Crimson Tide.
2-3 Arkansas for Chase. Taylon Green looking like one of the most exciting quarterbacks in the league. A lot of buzz on this stock. Are you going to buy or sell?
I'm selling this.
Did you watch the game?
I mean,
It doesn't sound like
they
it.
were absolutely demolished. And then I look back at that Memphis loss too. Like I don't see much hope here for Arkansas. I think Mizzou looks at that game on the schedule pretty happily.
I mean, they just fired their coach.
Yeah.
And they replaced him with Bobby
Petrino. Oh, that's awesome.
Texas A&M for you, Quentin, quick.
Oh, yeah, I'm buying too. I had him in the playoff before the year. It was a clunky win over Auburn, but they did what they needed to do late to seal that one.
Okay. We'll move on here as we will get a look at if Tyson Ellison, our guy that was in the locker rooms, won a Cotton Bowl, if he is buying Mizzou after that UMass game in our newest edition of Sideline Study Hall.
Something strange is going on this week. I couldn't for the life of me get this controller to work. I think it's because UMass was absolutely static for those 2 weeks during the bye week. They played the same game 2 weeks ago against Iowa as they did against the University of Missouri. I'll show you exactly how, but Mizzou won this game because this is what good Power 4 teams are supposed to do against UMass. Take a look with me. Iowa ran this RPO, and I told you last week Mizzou was going to be able to run this exact same play because UMass has to respect their running game. So Iowa was able to take advantage. That's a big gain for them. Could you imagine my surprise when Mizzou runs an RPO to the exact same side of the field? Kevin Coleman's going to get free, but they abused the underneath space that UMass left during this game. Ahmad Hardy's going to come across in motion. He's a decoy on this play just to help get Kevin Coleman open because, again, they run a lot of quarters. There's a lot of space underneath. Do you see this arm's length space that Kevin Coleman has to run through? There's nobody playing defense here, so he's able to get upfield. I mean, that's just an easy way to affect the game. Not a whole lot of effort and not a whole lot of crazy schemes. This punt block was the only way UMass scored. This led to a touchdown eventually. Same thing here. UMass was only able to score once, and it was off of a turnover here by Bo Pribula. But again, that defensive lineman affects the throw, so not necessarily the terrible decision that he didn't see the linebacker, but he was affected at the throw. And then UMass able to capitalize here. Easy throw into the end zone, just like last week. And Harrison's the one who threw it. We said he's got a really good arm, but this offensive line has to give him time to throw. They did not do that against Iowa. The middle of the defense collapsed into his chest. Ball deflected off his hand. Which game are we watching? Because Zion Young did the exact same thing, and it almost resulted in an interception. Don't worry, there was worse for Harrison in the near future. 2 plays later, both sides of this defensive line going to run a stunt. We're going to focus on just one side so that I can give you a good example here. So take a look here on the right side of your screen. Sterling Webb is going to pin the hip of the tackle. That's going to free Damon Wilson to loop back inside. And it's going to be one person taking 2 blockers, one person unblocked. Now, if you see this on both sides in the end zone as a quarterback, you have to let go of that football. That's what results in that interception there. Great play by Banner. But the turnover is forced by the pressure at the defensive line position. Just like this mistake here by Harrison. I mean, if you have Darius Smith coming off the edge at you, I would do the same thing, but there's 0 people in this area. That might have been the most blatant intentional grounding that I've ever seen in my life. Again, I cannot fault the young freshman for that. I probably would do the same thing with Darius Smith chasing me in my rearview mirror. One thing that I don't know if they prepared for was they tried to roll Harrison out because they wanted to avoid that pressure in the pocket. The only thing is, that doesn't work when Marvin Burks sends your best wide receiver 5 yards off the field with a humongous hit. Iowa can't replicate this either. This was the only difference in the game, is Mizzou's running back room is still the best in the country. This is RB2 Jamal Roberts shedding tackles, breaking through arm tackles of defenders for an easy touchdown. And look at what RB1 was doing this entire game. I mean, that should be a tackle right here. He should be tackled there. He should be tackled here. Marquise Johnson's blocking a defensive back who's literally saying what Marquise said in the press conference. Please, somebody else block or tackle Ahmad Hardy so I don't have to be the one to do it. Because when he gets the opportunity, look how low effort that tackle attempt is. He's just trying to grab onto the toes and hold Ahmad Hardy up for someone else to make that tackle. Because they know, just like we know, there's nothing you can do in the game to affect Hardy. He's going to score another 100-yard rushing game, and he crowns himself as king, the best running back in the country right now, heading into the bye week. We'll see how they spend these 2 weeks to prepare for Alabama on the next episodes of Sideline Study Hall. Jacob, back to you.
Thanks so much, Tyson. Always appreciate the X's and O's. We need them and take it to the grave. Before we take it to the grave and spin this wheel right here, we need to take it to the tape because it's another rough week for 2 of us.
Front seven's going to put a lot of pressure on them. I think the Mizzou defense can get over 2 sacks in this game.
I'll take a Marquise Davis rushing touchdown. I think young Buck gonna get into the game late. Tavares Jones. Are you kidding me? Tavares Jones gets a rushing touchdown. Jamal Roberts gets a rushing touchdown. Obviously, Ahmad Hardy gets 3 of them. No Marquise Davis rushing touchdown. I gotta spin this thing again.
Well, yeah, he did everything before getting a touchdown. He was great in the rushing attempts he took. He just
80
never
rushing yards.
Yeah,
Jacob?
he just never crossed the goal line.
Rushing yards.
Yeah.
I basically bombed my exam for this thing last time, okay, Quentin? I'm blaming it on the pepper.
Oh, all right.
I consulted Tyson on this one too. I thought this was a gimme this week, but no.
Mizzou led you astray.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I don't
Yikes.
know what to do anymore. I think I'm just going to have to go really easy next time. But
I mean, I thought 2 sacks was really
I thought it was, yeah.
Hey, but hey, Shana Tova,
right,
my friend. Happy
let's
New
see
Year.
it, Chase.
Proud of us for getting it right.
We just got to get this over with. Rip the Band-Aid off. Oh.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm
Jacob
sorry.
is
I'm
going
sorry
to
to
get
leave you
something
hanging.
terrible.
It's okay. It's okay. I
Chase
thought we were teammates.
too, and Quinn's done 4 saves.
This
get
is
to get rid of them
ridiculous.
all?
Statistically,
crazy.
this is rigged. I have not gotten a safe all year. This would be Merry Christmas.
This is not rigged, but
Oh my goodness.
Okay, sweet. T-shirt toss. All right,
Oh,
cool. We got a good one on Take It to the Grave. Yes, I'm okay. I'm bland. I'm lame. I'm not spicy. As long as I stay away from spicy, that is all I matter. Anyways, that's Take It to the Grave. I'm electric. That's great. That best case scenario. You know, I will thank Marquise Davis because I'm sure he came in to help out with that. All right. Proven, unproven. We went to it before, our overreaction, underreaction segment. We got questions. Y'all will answer them. Pretty simple. We'll start with you, Quentin. Missouri is a college football playoff contender. The last time we asked this question, we said unproven. Entering the bye, Missouri 5-0. Has that answer changed?
I think they're more proven, but still not fully proven. Again, I need to see them play an elite team. I don't think either South Carolina or Kansas are elite teams. Yeah. Are you all
I would agree.
In unison with that belief?
I agree. I think it's proven, though. I mean, I think they're on the verge right now. They're on the cusp. They keep going up. They keep winning games. You're 5-0 for the second time in 12 years.
Yeah, if you keep going like this, then yes. But right now, I think they're almost there. If they're able to beat Alabama, regardless of what the Crimson Tide do against Vanderbilt this weekend, I would say proven.
You hopped in on Quinn's question. I love it, though. We're going to skip you. We're going to go to Chase. Oof. Chase, Missouri has the best rushing attack in college football. Proven, unproven?
I think you could say that's proven for sure. I think Ahmad Hardy alone is one of the best in the country, if not the best. And you pair that with Jamal Roberts as a number 2. And even if you throw in Marquise Davis, I guess, like, it's such a talented room. And I definitely think they've proven that so far.
Going back to Quentin, the defensive line can make up for the mistakes of the secondary. Proven, unproven?
Proven, just because I think with even an average defensive line, the secondary's mistakes would be of a greater magnitude. And so, yeah, I think that's proven.
Bo Prabula.
Finally, I get a question.
You do.
I didn't know if I was ever going to get to answer one of
Patience
these.
is a virtue, Zach. Bo Prabula is turnover prone.
Proven. I mean, he's turned the ball over in 4 straight games, and he's thrown interceptions in 3 of them. His decision-making has been questionable against inferior opponents, so I think that's definitely proven.
Ahmad Hardy, Heisman contender. Proven, unproven?
I guess you can say proven in a way, but I'm not so sure that, like, as a running back, he's going to have the case at the end of the year. But, I mean, he is right now on the trajectory to be proving that.
He's a large reason as why the Tigers are up to 19 in the AP poll. Let's take a look at this week. Some big movers in the AP poll this week. Quentin, we'll start with you. What'd you see out of this week's poll?
Yeah, I thought Mizzou landed right where it should be. I don't think whatever happens on Saturday against UMass was going to sway people very much. Hey, as an East Coaster, I'm happy to see Virginia in the rankings, and Maryland has been getting some votes over the past few weeks, but big win by the Cavaliers on Friday night over Florida State, and a 100 out of 10 field storm. I thought
one of the best.
I don't think
feel bad for the receiver.
Oh, absolutely, but I don't think anything's topping what we saw at Scott Stadium in terms of a well-executed field rush.
Yeah, that was a beautiful field storming. It kind of looked like Missouri storming the court against Kansas last year in basketball, where they were just on the court the second the game ended. But yeah, I mean, Missouri's right where they need to be, right where they should be, right at 19, on the cusp of that playoff again. If they get a big win against Alabama, who moved up 7 spots in these rankings to number 10, if they get a big win against Alabama in 2 weeks off that bye week, I think you're going to see Missouri jump up to like the 12-13 area, right around there, right on the cusp of the playoff. And I think that'll be deserved if they do that. So I'm looking forward to that. That was the biggest thing in the AP poll for me, was Bama's movement.
Yeah, it was already a big game, and now the stakes are even higher with the rankings they are now. So I think Mizzou, some people think they should be higher. I think 19 is a pretty good spot for them. But again, like you said, if they beat Alabama, they're borderline top 10 at that point.
Alabama's got to beat Vanderbilt first.
True.
So let's not forget about that. Alabama,
key.
Vanderbilt this week, that's going to be a fun one, and that's going to set the stage for sure for the next couple weeks for the Tigers.
What world would we be living in
College
if
game.
Alabama falls to Vanderbilt 2 years in a row? That would be historic. It would also be amazing. Shaking up the AP poll, we love it. I got the Tigers right where they're supposed to be at 19-2. Thank you for watching this episode of the Tiger Kickoff Show. I want to thank our wonderful Columbia, Missourian beat reporters, Quentin Corpuel, Zach Sweet, Chase James, for taking the time. But before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with the sights and sounds of this week's homecoming.
Yeah. My friend in Auburn.
I'm so excited.
you coming to Pride Fest?